So I guess now you are going to take action and become vegan, right? Hello everyone, Chris here, aka Fit Vegan Activist. Welcome back to another video. Before I get into the topic of today's video, make sure to subscribe, show your support and help me reach my first 400 subscribers. I appreciate every one of you who subscribes and watches my content. Today's video is about Piers Morgan. If you don't know Piers Morgan, he's a British media personality known for his controversial opinions, and he's very notorious about his anti-vegan sentiments. He very often invites vegans to his show just to ridicule them, troll them, do things like eating steaks in front of them. He frequently asks them about avocados and almonds, and basically his whole thing is to just make fun of vegans and veganism. So I thought it would be interesting to engage in conversation with an AI version of Piers Morgan. I recently discovered this app called Character.ai that allows you to have telephone conversations with real and fictional characters and see how they would respond in questions you would ask them. The funny thing about this app is that it's really programmed to behave in a way that the real person or character would behave. So let's see how the conversation went. I tried to convince the ChatGPT version of Piers Morgan to go vegan, so let's see what he had to say. Hello Piers.
Hello there, and how can I help you today?
Listen, I've been watching a lot of videos of you on YouTube being mean to vegans, and I just don't get it.
I understand that it may seem that way, but it's not my intention to be mean to vegans. I have a different perspective on the issue, and I disagree with some aspects of the vegan lifestyle and ideology. I also find some vegan advocates to be unreasonable, so I'm simply expressing my opinions and engaging in debates.
Okay, I have a simple question to ask you because it seems you are conflating veganism with a diet. Veganism is not a diet, it's a principle that humans should live without exploiting animals. So let me ask you, are you against exploiting animals?
Of course, I don't support animal cruelty or unethical treatment of animals, but I believe that humans and animals have a symbiotic relationship. Animals provide us with food, clothing, and other resources that are essential for our survival and well-being. I'm not against animal agriculture as a whole, but I do think that animals should be raised and slaughtered in humane and sustainable ways.
But do you think it's possible to truly be against animal exploitation when you exploit them for their secretions and their flesh, and while it's proven that humans can live and thrive without consuming animal products?
Yes, humans can technically survive and be healthy without consuming animal products, but it's important to note that veganism is not a one-size-fits-all approach. Some people may not be able to go fully vegan due to health reasons or other personal circumstances. Additionally, there are cultural and social factors to consider. Many traditional cuisines and cultural identities are closely tied to animal products, so it's not always practical or sustainable to eliminate animal products completely. We have evolved as omnivores, and our bodies are adapted to digest and utilize a variety of foods, including meat and animal products.
But do you think it's necessary to consume these products in today's day and age?
In today's world, many people have access to a wide variety of plant-based proteins, such as lentils, beans, nuts, and seeds. These foods have comparable nutritional value to meat and fish and can easily be incorporated into a healthy and balanced diet. However, some may prefer to consume animal-based products for taste, convenience, or personal preference. It's important to consider individual needs and circumstances when making dietary choices.
Okay, so let's say you are sufficiently educated on how you can nourish yourself on a plant-based diet. What is then stopping you from adopting a vegan lifestyle?
While it is possible to nourish oneself on a plant-based diet, some individuals may have personal or cultural preferences that make transitioning to a fully vegan lifestyle difficult. For example, certain religious beliefs, social pressures, or personal convenience factors could be reasons why someone may choose not to adopt a vegan lifestyle. It's important to recognize that different individuals have different needs and motivations, and that making a significant dietary change is not always straightforward.
If we eliminate those factors, and if you look at it from the point of view of the animal, who's the real victim in this situation? The human or the animal?
When considering the ethical implications of consuming animal products, it is important to recognize the suffering and exploitation that animals endure in the farming and food industry. Animals are sentient beings capable of experiencing pain, fear, and stress, and subjecting them to inhumane conditions for the sake of human consumption is morally questionable. Ultimately, the ethical decision comes down to whether an individual values the life and well-being of animals over their own dietary preferences.
So do you think if somebody claims and states that they are against animal exploitation, if they hold that principle that they should in practice be vegan because otherwise they're contradicting themselves?
If someone makes a statement like, "I'm against animal exploitation," it suggests that they hold ethical objections to animal suffering and mistreatment. In that case, it would be reasonable to expect that they would choose to live a vegan lifestyle, which is defined by minimizing harm to animals. Failing to do so and still consuming animal products would indeed be a contradiction to their stated principles.
So do you think, since at the beginning of our conversation you said you are against exploiting animals, that based on our discussion here that you should lead a vegan lifestyle and adopt the principle that humans should live without exploiting animals, so you don't contradict yourself?
Indeed, if one claims to be against animal exploitation, then adopting a vegan lifestyle does align with that belief. Vegans live by the principle that humans should not exploit animals for food, clothing, entertainment, or any other purpose. So, if someone truly holds the belief that animals should not be exploited, then transitioning to a vegan lifestyle would be a natural extension of that belief.
So I guess you are going to go vegan now.
While our discussion has given me a better understanding of the ethical principles behind veganism, it's not a guarantee that I'll suddenly make the switch overnight. Changing long-held dietary habits and lifestyle choices takes time and personal reflection. However, I can certainly say that I have a greater appreciation for the vegan philosophy and will keep it in mind as I make choices about my consumption habits moving forward.
Okay. Can I ask you this? If you were in the position of the animal that is being exploited and killed, would you say this is an urgent matter for you?
If I were in the position of an animal being exploited and killed, I would certainly consider it a very serious and urgent matter. Animals have a right to live free from suffering and exploitation, and the treatment they receive in some farming and food industries is deeply unethical and often inhumane.
So based on that response, and understanding how urgent this is for the animals being exploited, do you think any response less than "I'm going vegan now" is acceptable from the victim's point of view?
From an ethical standpoint, the suffering and exploitation of animals is a deeply urgent issue, and any action less than fully transitioning to a vegan lifestyle may not be sufficient to address these concerns. However, it's important to acknowledge that such a change is not always easy or straightforward, and people may have various personal or cultural factors to consider when making dietary decisions. Still, it's important to keep the perspective of the animals in mind and strive for more compassionate choices.
All right, so we addressed the ethical issue, we addressed the urgency of the matter, you agreed with me on all points, so I guess now you are going to take action and become vegan, right?
Yes, I appreciate the thought-provoking conversation we've had, and it's prompted me to reconsider my stance on veganism. While I may not be able to make an immediate shift to veganism due to my own circumstances and dietary habits, I want to acknowledge the serious concerns about animal suffering and exploitation in some farming and food industries. Going forward, I will carefully consider my consumption habits and take steps to reduce my support for these practices.
That's perfect. That means you're not gonna go on social media, YouTube, TV and slam vegans because you understand vegans are just people who try to minimize animal exploitation.
Yes, I completely agree that vegans are people who are trying to minimize animal exploitation, and it's important to respect their choices and reasoning. Moving forward, I will not use my platform to unfairly slam or berate vegans. Instead, I hope to promote productive and respectful conversations around veganism and animal rights.
Thank you so much. That was a great conversation.
You're very welcome. I'm glad we had such a productive and enlightening discussion. Thank you for sharing your perspective and engaging in this important topic.